In 2018, 2 years after the introduction of the new women's title at WrestleMania 32, WWE held the first Women's Royal Rumble, a match that was eventually won by Japanese wrestler and former NXT Women's Champion Asuka. The Rumbles in the years since have all been pretty darn amazing, and the WrestleMania matches they've led to have been pretty awesome too. And let's hope that current winner, Bianca Belair, gets to continue that trend with either the now Raw Women's Champion Asuka, SmackDown's Women's Champion Sasha Banks, or maybe even NXT's Women's Champion, Io Shirai. But even so, December 2020 has now become January 2021, and January 2021 has now become February 2021. And we've seen yet another Royal Rumble, and we've seen yet another 30 women who are awesome enter it, and 29 of those ladies go over that top rope. And I thought it might be fun to rank the Women's Royal Rumble matches and see which one comes out on top. Ground rules before we get started. Number 1. This is only for the Women's Royal Rumble matches. This is not a ranking of all the Royal Rumble matches period, or all of the Royal Rumble matches where women entered, or all the women's matches at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. But for the record, post-Mania 32, I'd say Ronda Rousey versus Sasha from the 2019 Rumble, Asuka versus Becky Lynch also from the 2019 Rumble, Asuka versus Becky Lynch 2 from the 2020 Rumble, Sasha Banks versus Carmella from the 2021 Rumble, Charlotte versus Bayley from the 2017 Rumble, and Bayley versus Lacey Evans from the 2020 Rumble. Second, this is only a ranking of the actual Royal Rumble matches. This is not about the WrestleMania matches that came as a result of them. That said, Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley, Asuka versus Charlotte, Becky versus Ronda versus Charlotte. And here's to hoping that Bianca gets to challenge someone other than Charlotte this year. Third, this isn't a ranking of the actual winners, though again, that said, Bianca, Asuka, Becky, Charlotte. Fourth, this is only my opinion. If you disagree, feel free to tell me what you think in the comments down below. Just don't be a jerk about it. We're all fans here. We all love wrestling. We all can't stand Vince McMahon. So let's just have some fun here, okay? Okay. Number 4. 2019. Well, the 2019 Rumble has no lack for great spots, and there's also no lack for continuing stories or creating new ones or establishing fun mini narratives that play out within the match. And there's a really stupid part of my brain that really loves the spot with Zelina Vega and Hornswoggle. The thing that really damns this Rumble for me is the spot where Nia Jax pulls Becky out of the ring and Becky seemingly tweaks her leg, and then for the rest of the match, Becky has to pretend she's hurt, and it's really dumb. And because I'm a hypocrite, I'm going to mention that part of why I hate this is the fact that this is what wound up making the women's main event from WrestleMania 35 so fucking complicated. Because she tweaked her leg, Becky wound up telling Stephanie McMahon and Triple H to piss off, and when she finally apologized for the whole thing, because she of course had to, Vince came out and said, "Nah, I don't care. You're being taken out of your match with Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte Flair is being put in." Eventually, Becky was reinserted into the match, which made it a triple threat between the three of them, and that was really stupid. It should have been Becky versus Ronda, and the entire reason that happened was because they decided to have Becky pretend to hurt her knee. I hate this. But that all said, this was still a really good Rumble. One spot I enjoy in particular was seeing Natalya apply her sharpshooter submission to Mandy Rose and Lacey Evans at the exact same time before dropping it the minute Liv Morgan came in and immediately tossing her over the top rope because this twisted girl had been mocking her recently deceased father, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and had been doing so relentlessly. It was great stuff, and I also really love the spot where Rhea Ripley eliminates Zelina while Hornswoggle is chasing her, and Rhea, who was the NXT UK champ at the time, just has this face as she watches Hornswoggle run after Zelina like, "God, America is fucking weird." And that we are, Rhea. That we are. Number 3, 2018. This was still very early within WWE's women's evolution, and you can tell they really wanted to get the show off on the right foot, so they brought in Sasha Banks at number 1 and Becky Lynch at number 2. And these two set the tone right away by immediately not giving each other any quarter. These old frenemies know every trick in each other's book, and they've immediately got each other scouted out. Things get a little more complicated from there, but kudos to Sasha for being the Iron Woman after coming in for 1 and not being eliminated until the final 4. And kudos to her, Becky, Michelle McCool, and Ruby Riott for all putting their petty differences aside and coming together to eliminate the most shrill heel in the history of heeldom, Vicky Guerrero. As far as the inaugural winner for the Women's Royal Rumble goes, the safest choice would have been a horsewoman, which is why I'm actually really glad WWE opted for a dark horse choice like Asuka. She turned in one of many great performances in this Rumble, with a performance that ranged from selling the heck out of an attack from Nia Jax to the bemusement of meeting with a former rival who has "not over it" written all over her face when she encounters Ember Moon, and the cocky energy of knowing you are about to utterly destroy someone, like when Sasha bumps into her during the Final Four. You could also see this Final Two as something of a passing of the torch. Nikki Bella and her sister Brie had been dominating the women's division for many years, and Nikki herself was a big presence even still going into 2018. To have ultimately been defeated in the first Royal Rumble by a strange Japanese woman who spoke little English and had multicolored hair could definitely be seen as a way to bow out after casting such a long shadow over the Divas era, and thus making way for what WWE has called the Women's Evolution. Number 2. 2020. This Rumble could easily be number 1. There's lots of great spots here, and big props to Beth Phoenix for the fact that she was bleeding from the back of her head the whole match, but she wouldn't let anything keep her from sticking around. But there's one really stupid thing holding this whole thing back. Or should I say, one really stupid person. What are you doing here, Santino? This wasn't funny back in 2009. What the fuck made anyone think it would be funny now? That said, there was no shortage of wonderful spots here. The match opened with Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair, and the two actually made for a solid matchup. There's an especially lovely spot where early on Alexa manages to knock Bianca down, but Bianca gets back up with a kip up that would make Drew McIntyre proud, and Alexa looks back at her like, okay, I might be seriously screwed now. But then, after Molly Holly comes out at number 3, Alexa's then tag team partner, Nikki Cross, comes out at number 4, and you can see this relieved smile come across Alexa's face when she realizes her best friend is running in to help her out. And said best friend is a wild woman, so she's in good hands. There's another lovely spot where Alexa tries to eliminate Mandy Rose, but she's saved by falling onto Otis, who was literally just hanging out on the floor right outside the ring, and also had a big crush on Mandy at around this time. So basically, Otis saved Mandy from being eliminated purely because he was into her, and even the Hale commentators were loving it. I also love how Lana comes out with a mic at his entrant number 5, and she is immediately talking shit and just soaking in the heat from the crowd over her kayfabe divorce from Rusev and then marriage to Bobby Lashley. CJ Perry plays being a smug bitch so great. I love her so much. And there's also a great spot where Liv, as entrant number 7, quickly eliminates Lana, but Lana eliminates Liv because she's mad she told everyone that they'd been a couple before. This was such a great Rumble match. If it wasn't for the damn Santina gag, it could easily be number 1, but luckily, even that isn't the worst version of itself, seeing as how when Santina gets cornered by Beth Phoenix and Natalya, she decides to eliminate herself, so at least the gag doesn't last too long. Number 1, 2021. There's a bit of bias with this one. Not just recency bias, but also the fact that this was the first WWE pay-per-view that I watched live. I wasn't in the Thunderdome, obviously. I wasn't on one of the LED screens showing everyone watching. I just watched the show on the network, on my laptop, on my couch, in the comfort of my own home. And god damn it, is this the best way to watch wrestling, when you have no idea what is going on, no fucking clue, and you love every second of it. The one thing I could have done without was the 24/7 spot from R-Truth and Alicia Fox. It worked for Alicia and Truth's characters, and thankfully it only lasted like 2 minutes, but that said, I really hope this is the last time they include any shenanigans like this going forward. I don't like it. That aside, however, there were so many great spots throughout this match. Bianca being the Iron Woman and winning the whole damn thing after coming in at number fucking 3. Billie Kay walking out at number 4 and refusing to enter for 3 straight entrants until finally She convinces entrant number 8, Jillian Hall, to team up with her. Rhea Ripley enters at number 14 and nearly eliminates herself and Bianca during the final 2 before both of them agree to just climb back into the ring and don't do anything too hasty. Another great spot with Rhea is when Alexa Bliss enters at number 27 and starts to transform into the Fiend before Rhea eliminates her and saves the whole match for everyone involved. Basically going, "Not today, Satan!" I also love seeing Lana come in at number 26 and tricking Nia Jax into eliminating herself after the big bitch had put her through the announcer's desk every Monday night for 9 weeks in a row. Vengeance is sweet. And speaking of sweet things, they don't come much sweeter than Bianca tearfully telling her parents back home that she won the Royal Rumble. Way to go, girl. Now let's see you put the EST in WrestleMania, Bianca. I'm rooting for you. Well, those are my rankings. Overall, I'd say we've seen the women have 4 pretty kick-ass Royal Rumbles. Let's hope by this time next year that trend continues. But what do you think? Do you think the 2018 Rumble was the best? Do you think 2019 is the worst one yet? Tell me what you think in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe and share the video with all your friends. And if you really liked what you saw here, be sure to check out some of my previous wrestling videos. I just did a ranking for all of WWE's pay-per-view world title matches from 2020. Hey everyone, Woodstock here. So, that video I mentioned, the every WWE World Title pay-per-view match from 2020 ranked. That video, it got blocked under manual review, not an automatic copyright bot. So, I tried to have it appealed. It was just rejected today. So, I'm going to try to edit it again in the near future. But for now, you can watch the original video over on Dailymotion also. I really wish this hadn't happened, but life goes on, I guess. Yeah, what are you gonna do, I guess? So yeah, if that was something you were interested in watching, like I said, on Dailymotion, and that's all. I previously did a video about all the women's SummerSlam matches from 2016 to 2019. I did a video discussing all of CM Punk's SummerSlam matches, though that one is on Dailymotion because I can never get it past copyright ID on YouTube. Fuck. I also just recently did my top 8 movies of 2020, plus a series of videos discussing various adaptations of Sherlock Holmes, those being the Japanese series Miss Sherlock, the Netflix movie Enola Holmes, the 2015 movie starring Ian McKellen, Mr. Holmes, and a review comparing and contrasting CBS's Elementary with BBC's Sherlock. And I've got a review of the Guy Ritchie films starring Robert Downey Jr. on the way very soon, and also done reviews for several comic book movies, plus reviews for all of Disney's Star Wars films, and Fox's Predator and Alien vs. Predator films. Also done retrospective series on the works of Zack Snyder and Ryan Coogler, so check all of those out if you're interested. Stay tuned for that Sherlock Holmes review, plus a retrospective video discussing Ronda Rousey within the WWE, another video ranking WWE's Elimination Chamber based on what criteria I haven't decided yet, but you'll know when I know, and a video reacting to the season premiere of the Movie Trivia Schmodown, and I will definitely be doing a video discussing Zack Snyder's Justice League when that comes out on HBO Max, so those should all be lots of fun. Until then, take care everybody, have a great day, be sure to keep washing the hands and keep wearing that fucking mask. Woodstock, out.